of this organization, which is Institute of Computer Engineers of the Philippines. I'm so happy because I'm also a part of an organization since I was in college. I really love joining organization because I believe that learnings is not only in the school, di ba? And I'm so happy that even actually all the professionals we have right here, no? I guess majority of you here are professionals. You are extending this learning from the reality to our students right now who are, don't have that really idea or knowledge what's the reality outside after they graduate in the institution. So yeah, I'm so happy to hear that first. But anyways, let me just share my screen. Um, okay. Let me just check if you guys can see my screen. Okay. So I hope that you guys can see my screen. Please thumbs up guys if nakikita niyo yung screen ko so I can uh validate and check with you guys. Yeah, cool. Okay. So again, no, with the topic that was uh, a sign or maybe the thing that I would like to share with you guys focuses on tools that I use as a data analyst in Metromart, but focusing maybe not only in Metromart, but with my previous experience as also as instructor in Quezon City University, but at the same time, using data analytics even in my role, I mean, even in my personal decision makings. No? Um, I will share with you later, guys, some of the tools that you guys possibly use, learn, explore, no? Because there's a lot of opportunities, especially in the career. Kasi maraming offerings right now in this industry. Majority of the companies hires data analysts because data analyst really helps the management to decide and monitor the performance and data behavior of the company. Okay, so again, as I said here, diba, data is not just a numbers; it's a story of the organization, and it's, diba, sabi nga natin, there's a rule of thumb. If you are very familiar with the term, no, rule of thumb, because traditionally, sanay ang mga organization o ang mga business. Sabi nga natin, di ba, majority of the Chinese companies, minsan rule of thumb. Kung ano yung gusto ni boss, yun yung nasusunod. Sino yung nauna sa kumpanya, sila yung nasusunod. But we need to understand that because previously, we don't have data analysts. People are not really into data because, yung computers recently lang din naman nagsimula yan and we innovate and created a lot of tools for us to really monitor the data behavior of the company. But right now, since we are in this stage, since, I mean, majority of us are into computers, and you are ano, diba, computer literate people, so these tools can really help you in terms of your career progressions and opportunities to have a better job. Okay, so let me move to the next slide. So, syempre, di ba, syempre, I guess, majority of us here might think that it's 7 p.m. and we're joining a webinar. So, medyo nakaka-antok. So, I guess it's very important for us to have some energizers. It's just checking. Since we're talking about data analytics, I really need numbers, but at the same time, really need to know how ICPEP really aware. I mean, really aware with the current events we have here in the Philippines, especially di ba yung mga issues of flood control, yung mga issue about um, travel, transportation, lalo na ngayon, long weekend, di ba? So majority of you here might experience, hindi nga might I'm pretty sure may experience ninyo yung traffic, di ba? We have. So I guess it's very important for us to, I mean, for me, no, as a speaker, to know how our participants really experience these current events we have right now in the Philippines. So if you can just use your mobile phone and join in this link, no, you can type in your browser menti.com. Ayan. So, yeah, so just go with the menti.com, and then once you log on to this link, use the code 18794430. And let me just stop my yeah. Kasi I'll be moving to the mentee. So you guys can see as well kung ano yung magiging yan na po. Okay. So, let's go with the mentee. Ayan. So actually may mga sumagot na, no? So because I have a question here. So the first question is, define in one word your travel experience in the Philippines. Ayan. So, diba? So we have, yes, may suman ako dito. So one of the top answer is fun. So at least, diba, you're seeing beyond the dark, especially at travel. So a lot of us here say that tiring, traffic, traffic jam, hassle, hot, mausok, di ba? So, with the data you guys feeding to me, right, able to understand that I'm not the only person who, have this perspective na ang traffic. Since I'm residing here in Quezon City, so in decision making in terms of kung saan ako titira, do I need to rent or, use car or a motorcycle? Actually, I'm currently using a motorcycle because that's the best way. I mean, napilitan ako mag-aral ng motorcycle because that's the best way, para hindi ako late. Okay? So, yeah, thank you for feeding that information. No? I'm able to understand that a lot of you guys here feel the same experience that I'm experiencing in terms of the traffic or travel experience here in the Philippines. So let's move to the next one. Ayan. So right now, I would like to check. Syempre ngayon Christmas, a lot of you guys here maybe book online, uh, avail online, and just want to know who is your most recommended courier services. Pag sabi mo courier services, ito yung mga Shopee, yan, Lazada, um, because they also have courier services na aside from e-commerce, LBC, yan. So, would like to check, no? I guess, sorry, I forgot to sorry, let's skip this. I forgot to paste the right slide. Sorry, never mind on that. Okay, so let's go with this one. And the third question. How do you guys describe in one word your pandemic experience? Kasi it's been 5 years. So, it's been 5 years, di ba? Since we faced pandemic, COVID-19. No? So, how do you describe your pandemic experience from since 2020? Ayan. So, changing, isolating, lonely, tedious, depression. So it's good to know that I'm not the only one who experiencing the same feeling. Kasi 'di ba sabi nga natin, when you see or know some people who have the same experience as yours, you feel the burden or the challenges lighter. Kasi naiisip mo na hindi lang ikaw yung nakaka-experience ng ganong problema. And that's how also important the data is, 'di ba? That kasi kapag minsan feeling mo ikaw lang yung nakaka-experience nun, you really feel down, di ba? You really feel, parang minsan kasi, di ba sikat yung statement na, Lord, bakit mo ako pinabayaan? Or Lord, why me? Di ba? But in the data, if you're able to know and and understand that you are not the only person who experience this thing, di ba? Mas gagaan yung pakiramdam mo. And thank you guys for sharing this words now and feelings. So let me just go back again with the slide. Okay, sorry, need to move. Okay, so okay, cool. So let me just present. Okay, sorry for the so hopefully you guys can see it. Okay, so doon sa mga diniscuss natin, no, we have three. So unfortunately, we haven't, you guys can pick them sa Courier, but let's just discuss it one by one. Why I'm asking this? Because later on, in our daily lives, in our daily routine, Guys, data is very important. If our government, sooner or later, some of you here might, join organization like our government, or maybe join organization that might help our community, to experience better, or if we can offer a better services for our organization kung saan tayo papasok. You need to ask yourself first, now, what are the challenges we are facing here in our country? I am focusing on that because as a data analyst, you will able to see, 'di ba may tinatawag nga tayong Pareto? You focus on the worst. You focus on the top contributor so that you can solve the majority of the problem. And as you can see right now in the traffic, 'di ba, it's frustrating, yeah. As I said na iba din kanina, 'di ba? Tedious, kapagod paulit-ulit. And dumating na sa point na parang normal na lang siya sa atin. But does our organizations, I mean, our government really address it on the top level? What's the root cause? Minsan kasi alam naman natin, 'di ba, one of the root cause daw is we're continually allowing private vehicle, to purchase. That's why yun nga, hindi na kaya ng capacity because we have numbers. And this numbers is not lying. It speaks well, on the capacity we have in our roads. And data analytics actually helps our um, our organization to address kung gaano ba kalaki dapat yung requirement, gaano kalapad yung mga roads na dapat natin ilagay, gaano kakapal. Do we need high concrete so that it can, um, uh, address yung load na dumadaan dun sa road niyo, or we can just have a light road, no? Kasi yung dumadaan lang naman din ay bicycle or maybe light vehicle. So those data actually helps our organization to create good decisions when it comes to the projects that we are having in our government or even in the private institution. Now, later on, we will tackle with that at the same time. So here naman when it comes to the courier services, it's very important as well. I mean, it's very important for us as well, to understand who is the best courier services who can cater our location. Kasi each of these courier services offer different services, different rates, and again, those data it speaks well, on who is the best for you. You need to choose for you to experience well when it comes to your requirement in terms of the services they offer. Okay. The last one is pandemic. I was thinking actually during pandemic, is the Philippines already have that kind of data analytics? Actually, wala pa masyado. Very few companies or very few, I mean, I guess even DOH during that time, hindi sila ganun ka uh, data oriented, but they don't have that data analytics dashboards or views. No, I just first time ko lang siya during that time na view yung ganun mga visibility that they have. No? They just publish it during that time because there's a need. Unfortunately, actually during that time, if you have those dashboards, no, nung nagkaroon ng COVID in Wuhan, China, then, di ba, nagkaroon ng COVID here in the Philippines, no, na-trace back natin, na-monitor natin properly using that during those dashboards, it might help us, to reduce the numbers of those infected in COVID-19 because you have that real-time visibility. And actually, marami pang hindi counted na in 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 COVID-19 because syempre yung iba takot magsabi sa government, baka kasi na lang bigla na lang may ambulansya sa labas ng bahay mo, di ba? Yan yung fear natin during that time. But in reality, it's very important for us to really address it in numbers because in numbers now we will be able to commit the numbers of, for example, the numbers of medicine, the numbers of vaccine, the numbers of the PPE that are the doctors need for their medications, no. So yeah, that's how powerful the data is, no. Pero the question there is how will we be able to use the tools we have right now? And what is the best tool right now to use for us to properly monitor yung data requirement natin? At the same time, is our organization ready to handle such kind of data? Siyempre, hindi naman yan basta-basta lang data, no? Imagine if you're handling, for example, a government data na sobrang dami, na sobrang laki. How you guys able to monitor and handle such kind of data? So Of course, alam naman niyo kung gumagamit kayo ng Google Sheet or ng Excel sheet, di ba? May limit lang ang rows. And at the same time, kapag na-max out nyo pa yan, sobrang lag na. That's why we have a lot of tools here to help us to, organize and manage this such kind of heavy data. Okay? So today you will just learn, I'll be running four things to you guys. First is the definitions and processes that a data analyst do in their analytic job, data types and sources. Of course, kailangan ma-define natin ano ba yung mga data types commonly used by a data analyst. No? At the same time, saan ba usually yung common sources that some of the corporate uses, no, for their data digestion or data analysis. No? Third is basic tools and languages. So syempre I expect a lot of this from computer engineers because when I face some of the computer engineers, talagang sila yung very enrolled, when it comes to this programming languages, and tools in terms of data analytics. And last is of course data ethics. It's very important in data analysis because you're handling data, and data is very powerful. You can describe how company performs. You can describe um, specific persons, profile, specific companies, sales performance, or you can just address who to tap in, to get information. And ethics is very important to manage, this such kind of data. Okay. So before we move to the data analytics, can you just click times up kung gising pa ba kayo? Kasi ang dami natin dito. We have 200 participants and I really love to know na you guys are here listening. I know it's Saturday. Some of you here might, get bored and be ready sa mga ganitong serious topic. But I hope that you guys here now and hopefully appreciate this topic. Okay, so first is let's define data analytics. As defined here, data analytics is a process of collecting, organizing, and analyzing raw data. Okay, so just imagine, for example, you are in hospital, pinasulat mo sa papel yung isang pasyente, edad niya, gender niya, taga saan siya, and so on and so forth. Those are collecting of data. But how you guys able to organize it and analyze it, especially kung daang libo na pasyente yung minomonitor mo. How you guys address those such kind or how those such kind of data you have in your organization. So with those data you have, how can you use it now to uncover insights, identify the trends, and of course support decision makings that you need to feed to your managers, to your to the management, so that they can create initiatives and projects for the benefit of the customers, clients, and of course the whole organization. Okay, so this is the simple process of of being a data analyst. First is of course data collection. So when you do data collection, of course, it's very important that you know how your organization gathered information or gathered data. Just like I said, for example, sa hospital, kung pupunta kayo, paano ba sila mag-handle ng data nila? Just to compare, a simple clinic. A simple clinic, usually, for example, kung check up ka, bibigyan ka lang nila ng papel and you need to fill out your data. Unfortunately, what's the challenge with that? Kung pangit yung penmanship nung pasyente, how you guys able to understand properly? 'Di ba? Yung 14, akala mo 40, yung pala 14 lang siya. Tapos ang binigay mong gamot pang 40, 'di ba? So, yun yung mga challenges when it comes to manual, which still in the Philippines, majority of the clinics, ganun pa rin yung kanilang method. But if you compare it, for example, in St. Luke's or in other private hospital, di ba? Once you enter to their hospital, very automated, di ba? They will ask you if you have existing records. If not, they will enroll you. They will give you a tablet wherein dun mo i-fill up, i-verify nila, and i-validate nila if tama yung details mo. And that's very important because as an organi- as a hospital nga, di ba? It's very important for them to really know this specific information for them to really address you properly with the needs in your medication or in your illness. Yeah. So data collection is a most critical part because pag mali yung data collected mo, you might have a wrong suggestion or interpretation in your data. Second is data cleaning. So syempre when it comes to data cleaning, um, it is also important because for example, um, there are some clients, for example, let's go back again in the hospital. They um, add their data. And sa halip na ang height nila is in centimeter, nilagay nila in meter. Di ba? So, it's very important. Kaya nga sabi ko sa mga estudyante ko pag gumagawa sila ng survey sa thesis nila, it's very important that very spoon-feeding yung question ninyo. Na kumbaga i-guide mo na lang sila towards to the right answer because sometimes no they misinterpret the question and put the wrong information. That's why you have the wrong decision as well with your conclusion. Okay. Last, sorry, in the third process is data analysis. So here in the data analysis, later on, mas lalaliman ko to. In the data analysis, there's a lot of tools that you need to use, no, for you to really understand the trends, no, the statistical there's a lot of statistical method to understand no, the regressions, kung familiar kayo doon, no? Yung correlations ng mga data na kino-compare ninyo. So those are the things that you need to use no, to understand your data very well. Okay? Number four is data visualization. Ito for me, it's very important kasi as a data analyst, as a lead, I always instill to the mind of my team and as well as to my students na may tinatawag tayong cognitive load. Okay, so pakitype nga sa chat box, cognitive load. Ayan. So dapat tama yung spelling ha. Cognitive load. Ayan. So let me just check kung andyan pa ba sila. Ayan. Please type in the chat box, cognitive load. Ayan. Parang tulog na ata yung ating mga. Ayan. Ayan. Gusto ko yung ganyan na yung responsive ng ating mga participants. No? So cognitive load, why? Because not all people have the same understanding with certain things. For example, in the company, if for example, the CEO is more on the accounting side, they don't really understand the technical side. Like for example, if you are in the web development, or for example, you are in the more on the marketing side, they don't know uh, terms used in your department or in your expertise. No, so it's very important that you have data visualization so that they can easily understand the trend, the patterns, and the behavior of your data. It will help them address, it will help them assess and interpret the summary of the data that we are trying to um, present in your data. Okay. And last is of course interpretation and decision making. Syempre, of course, once you have understanding with your data, you will able to create decisions, no, and suggestions in your data. Just like what I shared earlier, for example, in the traffic, no? During what time? Ako, guess, feeling ko alam na ninyo ito eh. What time yung pinaka-traffic in the Philippines, di ba? May tinatawag na tayo. Kaya nga na-develop yung salita or na-create yung salitang rush hour. Because the most traffic time here in the Philippines is from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then similar with the afternoon, then we have 5 p.m. to 7 or 8 p.m. Diba? So we derive those data because well, personally, we have experience, we know, but in terms of the data as well, no, dun din lumalabas yung numbers of cars, no, who is present in the roads during those times. And we need to address that in terms of the number of cars, and at the same time, doon din tayo makakapag-generate ng suggestions in terms of how big the road need, no, in our main road so that it can accept yung requirement in terms of the number of cars during those times. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. No, right now we will talk about the data types. So when it comes to data types, it's very important because you will be able to understand the uh, the type of the data you have, you know, once you collected it from your customers or patients or from your sources. So we have structured data, unstructured data, and semi-structured data. So organized and easy to analyze. So when I say um, organized and easy to analyze, it's because those data, for example, are the data you have in Excel sheet. For example, once you collected it in G form, diba, usually it's a G form that nagko-collect, or even in the surveys, and once you paste it or input it in the Excel sheet or kung saan man kayo or kung saan man spreadsheet yung ginagamit ninyo, you will able to organize it by rows and columns, wherein you can create a very clean databases. Unlike kasi sa unstructured data. So sa unstructured data, these are the data that you can't easily organize. For example, comments in Facebook. For example, there's a specific Facebook post, and then how can you
Seem like nagkaroon ng technical error ang ating speaker. Habang inaantay natin siya, gising pa ba kayo lahat?
Yes po.
Yes po, gising po. Gising na gising po.
Ayo. Gutom na ba? Yan. Biglang nag-out si
Opo.
Doc. Wait lang natin siya, ha? Ano ba pwede natin gawin?
Hindi.
Natutuwa lang ako
Carol?
doon sa ano, no? Doon sa kaninang pa-alert game ni speaker. Ang saya, no? Pwede pala yun. Ngayon ko lang nakita yun. Engaging siya. So, pwede ko siyang itry sa aking klase. Para magising sila, di ba? Nagising naman kayo kanina, di ba? Ayan na. So, let's welcome, welcome back po,
No.
engineer.
Okay. Yeah,
You can
sorry.
take the floor again po.
Yes. Apologies on that. I was connected actually in the Wi-Fi here. So yun, it's disconnected. Okay, let me just share my screen again. Apologies on that. Okay, so okay, hold on. Okay, okay, here. So again, sorry for that. But let me just continue again over the unstructured data. So it's very important that you know the data types you have. Kasi for example, in the unstructured data, and you have a Facebook post, which is very hard for you to group, no, yung mga information na yun. Like who among in the comments says no, who among in the comments says yes, or just saying maybe, or maybe just sharing their insights. So those unstructured data is very difficult for you to conclude, no, or to summarize or to create insights, because as long as the data is just kumbaga descriptive, you know, you can't really create summary out of it. That's why sometimes, diba, when we do our surveys, or when we do our data gatherings, no, sometimes we put ratings. No? For example, 1 means yes, 2 means no, 3 means maybe, and so on and so forth. So with those ratings that we're giving, it gives a numerical equivalent value. Para those numerical equivalent value can help us to really summarize or correlate or to have uh, an understanding doon sa data na meron tayo. Okay? Next is the semi-structured data. It's a combined element both of the two, which is the structured and unstructured. You know? So these are commonly, for example, in usually ito are JSON files or Parquet files, if you know that. You know? But basically, it's a file that is can't, you know, you can't just read it I mean, you can just really read it normally, similarly with the spreadsheets, because sometimes you need a reader out of it. For example, gaya nga sabi ko kanina, Parquet file. If a Parquet file usually stored in a data warehouse, such as, for example, Amazon or S3. No? So before you read it, before you know or understand all the tables and rows out of it, no, you need to um, convert it or to read it using another platform for you to understand yung nilalaman, no? So later on, mas maintindihan nyo yung semi-structured because I'll be sharing a specific tool that I use for it, no, to read, no, in your data analysis. Okay, so next is let's understand the people the people involved in the analytics. So we have the data analysts, the data engineers, and data scientists. Just to summarize this part, no, technically in the Philippines, hindi naman ito nag-iiwa-hiwalay. It really depends maybe on the company, but most of the time, kung sino yung data analyst, siya rin yung data engineer, siya rin yung data scientist. In my case, actually ako lahat yan, no, in my company. I manage the data. I'm using those tools, no, the SQL, Excel, Power BI for the data presentation and analytics, no. I talk a lot of times, so, to the stakeholders if they have insights or if they have requests or if they have guidance in their projects or in their initiatives. But at the same time, I'm also the data engineers who process the data from the servers we have, no, from the web dev or from the other team members we have, no, from the backend. And I'm the one who's translating it, no, moving it using the ETL process, such as, for example, in S3 to um, to present it using the tools I have in the data visualization. And then last is the data scientist. For example, there's a data analysis that I need to do. And you can't just really do it using a G Suite or using a spreadsheet or using Power BI or using Looker Studio. Sometimes you need, for example, Python to understand yung data na meron ka. Just to give you an example, on this, no, what I did using Python. Um, when I was checking the locations of our customer here in the Philippines, no, using Python and geo mapping, no, I'm able to create a cluster. No? So syempre when it comes to mapping, hindi mo naman i-manual sa Google Map, no, at malalaman mo yung distance from the origin to kung saan na yung location you have in the map, no. So what I did, I used Python, no, um, to create clusters and groupings of the locations of my customers and distribute properly, no, the tasks among the operations so that we have a fair task distribution among the operations we have in the organization. Okay, so yeah, so let's move to the highlight of the topic. So we have programming languages, data visualization, and data storage. So let me define that in this sample. So we have a data storage. So I'll be sharing with you a very common data storage we have. Actually, we have actually marami to, no? There's in Google, there's in Amazon, but I'll be focusing on the Amazon because in my organization, what we use is a cloud server. When you say cloud server, basically all the data storage, all the data we have is stored in cloud. Okay, so for example we're using a mobile app in my company. So yung name niya is Metromart. It's an online grocery app. Okay. So itong mobile app na to, all our customers uses it, no? Similarly, parang Grab lang siya, parang Food Panda lang siya. So each time our customer book orders online, so of course it triggers all the data we need, no? Kung kailan nag-order, kung kailan gusto ma-deliver, gaano karami yung product na gusto nila i-deliver, and at the same time magkano yung presyo and so on and so forth. So all those information, syempre hindi mo naman yung ipapasagot sa papel. O customer, gusto mo ba umorder ng grocery tapos papasulat mo isa-isa? That's absurd. So it's very important that you have a user-friendly application so that your customer have a good customer experience when it comes to your business. And using that application, no, it throws all the information after using the application to the server we have. Okay, so after throwing all those information, dun papasok si ETL process. Paano mo kinoconnect from the mobile app? Usually that's the API, yung tinatawag nating API, yung API integration, no? Yung API na from your application going to the servers, no, you have, so that you can um, analyze those information using SQL. Okay, so you can control it and manipulate it so that you can understand the behavior of your customers using the data that they inputting in your data storage. Okay, so AWS is one of the platforms. But since today is almost holidays, no, in other companies, actually with my previous companies, they're using uh, a hardware servers, no, a database, no. Kaya nga in the Philippines, kapag during holidays, they are really afraid, no, or concerned na magkaroon ng issue yung mga servers nila. Why? Do you think why? Bakit ano ba yung naging issue ng why a lot of ITs or maybe computer engineers are concerned during holidays na malfunction yung kanilang servers? It's because if this servers malfunction, especially kung nakakonect ito sa ERP, sa kanilang mga tools na ginagamit nila for their business to run in a daily basis, no? Of course, hindi magkakaroon ng operations yung negosyo. And it's very important because of course it's a loss of sales in the company. That's why most of the time there's a dedicated person na um assigned, no, to manage this hardwares. And that's the bad thing actually with this hardware. Kasi for example, kung nagkasunog or for example, nagkaroon ng baha and so on and so forth, prone siya, no, to um, damages and of course loss of data. Um, in the in the cloud servers kasi, since our data throws in the servers, no, abroad, in majority of this is in the America, no. So majority of this now is in Silicon Valley, no. So once we throw all those information to that service, which is highly secured, no, highly managed, kahit nasaan ka mang part in the Philippines, no, you can freely access those information. Okay, so hopefully that's clear, no, on the data storage. Please do thumbs up if naintindihan ba ninyo yung dun sa data storage as we move to the data visualization. So thank you for thumbs up. Okay, so for the data visualization, of course, just like I said, once you enter or input those information in the application, for example, in the mobile app, like for example in Grab, diba? Nag-file ka, this is your order, this is what I want to be delivered this product in the afternoon. Who delivered this? This is the amount I use. I use BPI, I use Land Bank, I use Cash, and so on and so forth, the payment scheme, diba? So, sa sobrang kalat nun, how you guys able to understand the data? Diba? Sino ba pinaka-common payment scheme? Is it in cash? Is it using a credit card? Is it using debit card? And so on and so forth. So, for you to really understand the data you have, you need to manipulate and control it. Actually, dun pumapasok si Excel sheet, di ba? Si spreadsheet, Power BI, Tableau, Looker Studio, and even SQL. No? So it helps you to manipulate, control the data so that it can give you a well-presented data and understanding, doon sa data mo. Just like for example here, we have Power BI. So actually, I'm exploring a lot of tools. Before I'm using Looker Studio, but I'm also using Power BI to, have an automatic update, para mas less yung time I use, for refreshing and updating the data needed for. This is just a sample. This is not what I use in the company, but as you can see here, it gives you easily the share of the customers or maybe in the merchant. No, it gives you the trend on on when is the most peak and not, diba? So with that understanding, and you have filters here to, for example, if you just want to know a specific merchant, or if you just want to know a specific shop type, no, or if you just want to know a specific group age, uh performance or behavior, you can just toggle on, drop by, and easily understand those data. So why I'm saying this, as a data analyst or someone who is pursuing this career, it's very important to feed this information to the right stakeholders. Why? For example, you are the marketing head, or you are the business development head, or you are in the operation. and you don't have data, di ba? Commonly, kung ano lang yung na-experience mo, kung ano lang yung may kaso, may concern, laging nagme-message sa'yo, laging nangungulit sa'yo, yun lang yung unahin mo. Okay? But if you are data-oriented, and if you are really enrolling yourself to understand the holistic data you have in your company, ma-realize mo, ito palang maingay na customer na to are just contributing a very, very low contribution in my business. Usually yung mga maiingay, sabi nga nila, maiingay, yun yung mga latang walang laman. But in the business, in the customer service, usually yung mga maiingay na yan lang naman yung umorder ng 10 piso, yan lang naman yung umorder ng very low value, no? So, kailangan, when you address things, no, you address it in Pareto. Lagi ko yung na-highlight yun, no? In Pareto setup, di ba? The 80-20 rule. You, you focus on the top, but you solve almost the 80% of the problem, no? And with that, it helps your organization succeed in its goal, no, to become a profitable company. Okay. Next is programming language. So there's a lot of um, things that you can use, no, to program and to automate. No, just to give you an example, like I shared earlier, I'm an instructor here in Quezon City University, and one of my challenge is every time I start my class, no, I do attendance. And yun naman yung nakasanayan natin, di ba? Pagbukas ng, for example, if you're in online, pagbukas mo ng class, o tatawagin mo alphabetically yung student. And it takes your time. And sometimes, no, yung energy ng estudyante kakapasok pa lang, minsan parang, alam mo yun, parang medyo bumababa because, you know, supposedly they're very excited to start with the class. But since magro-roll call pa, lalo na kung maraming estudyante, so parang natagal pa. So what I did, no, I use AppScript. So AppScript, by the way, you guys can use it, no, under Google Sheet. So I just use an AppScript, no, to monitor the attendance of my students. So every time I start my class, so sasabihin ko na sa kanila, guys, you can click the link, no, and then redirect sila to this UI, no, itong user interface na to. And then parang Google form lang siya. But the difference here, automatically may lalabas na photo dito. Photo meaning it captures your face. Okay? So kung nasaan sila, they need to capture that. No, once they capture that photo, it gives me the lat long. So pag sabi mo lat long, yun yung latitude and longitude nung kung nasaan sila nag-capture ng picture. With that, no, I'm pretty sure, no, na kung saan sila nag-attendance, nandun sila. So hindi nila pwedeng dayain yung attendance, no. So hindi ko na kailangan what do you call this? Hindi ko na kailangan magsulat or mag-record. It automatically throws the information here in G Sheet. So kung nasaan sila, anong oras sila nag-in, no? And with that, I have the summary of the attendance. So isa yan sa mga, actually that's part of the thesis I'm creating, no? I'm creating ano ba tawag dito? A grading monitoring na kung saan automatically their attendance are monitored using this. The grades or the quizzes they're taking is on the spot, nare-record, no? And automatically, we have a dashboard that they can see their grades real time, no? So after mo mag-exam, makikita mo na agad kung ano yung grade mo. Why? Because with this kind of visibility, the student can change his or her behavior after taking the exam. So kung nakita mong bagsak ka, sabi, nakita mong hindi maganda yung performance mo, nakita mong lagi kang absent, at alam mong minomonitor ka ng professor mo or ng instructor mo, most likely, di ba, you will behave properly and you will change the behavior you have. And that's also the reason why I'm trying to automate the things, no, the way of doing in my class, because I want to enroll my student in this kind of, you know, automation in the class na mapil nila that I am counting their efforts. I'm counting their behavior now in terms of the attendance, and that's one of the uh, key good things about these tools that we have now in the AppScript. But at the same time, we also have Python. There's a lot of packages that you guys can use now to monitor the geospatial, which gives me and that continues me to the next topic, which is this one. This is a Kepler. No, you can connect it using AppScript and connect it, or even in Python. No, you can connect it in Python or in Jupyter to create a visibility of your data. So for example here, so let me just share my sorry, let me just move to that sample here. So tapos kayo. For example, this one. No? So just imagine this is the what do you call this? This is the um this is the school. For example, ito yung school ninyo, no? And this is the location of your student. Diba? Paano ko ba ito? Yan. This is the location of your student. So for me, as an instructor, diba? Or as a, maybe a stakeholder, I will able to know kung saan located yung mga estudyante ko. At maiintindihan ko, no, I won't create a reaction na bakit late lagi tong taong to. Diba? What's the reason, diba, of why these people are late? And you can create decisions or suggestions for these people or alternatives for them to really learn. Diba? Yeah. So for example, if this is your customers and this is your branch, diba? Since marami yung customers mo, especially to the management level, diba? Mas madali, kasi kapag data, kapag spreadsheet, medyo mahirap i-digest, no? To some people. Sabi nga rin, di ba, people can easily learn things via photo. So, as you can see here, di ba, you can easily see kung if you need to open a shop here or here and close the shop here. Di ba? So, that's the decision making that you can offer uh, with your organization. Okay? And so, let's move to, okay, uh, okay, let me just, yeah, okay. So let's move to the ethical considerations now. After having those visualization, data extraction, using the tools of Power BI, Python, using Kepler, no, using spreadsheets and app scripts, you guys can just easily learn those things. I'll be sharing a link later, no, kung saan pwede kayo mag-practice if you want to pursue or understand those tools. But basically, for me, no, natutunan ko lang naman maging analyst just searching in YouTube, reading some, watching some instructional videos. There's a chat GPT that gives you a summary, a guidance, no, for you to really learn those tools. But for me, no, it's very important here once you have those skills, no, to have an ethical behavior. Because again, no, I remember what I said with my boss before. Na you're paying me not because I know these tools, because any other people can learn these tools, no? What I know and what I contributed to the company. But for me, what the most important thing is to have integrity. Why I'm saying integrity? May tinatawag tayong word na espionage or industrial spying. Actually, yung maraming tao right now, no, na I know, no, for example, in Ninjavan before, they're working in Ninjavan and then they moved to JNT, which is the direct competitor. And I'm sad actually with those people because at the end of the day, you have a full knowledge with the data of the previous company. And if you share those information, imagine mo, no, if you know where to open, if you know where to close stores, if you know where are the weaknesses of the previous company, and you share that to the next company na um, pinasukan mo, those are threats to the previous company, and those things might be a great loss to those have those kind of mindset and damage the resources or the reputation of the previous companies, no? So it's very important that you have that integrity and always um you know offer those kind of mindset, no, because at the end of the day, if you have that kind of integrity, for me, those people are well compensated in terms of their salary. Okay? So I'll be sharing four things here. So I'll be summarizing it, no? Data privacy and security, transparency and explainability, bias and fairness, and job displacement. So for the first three, the data privacy, transparency, and bias and fairness, guys, once you have this data, managed, controlled, manipulated under you, just make sure that you don't share it to any people, especially external or competitors, because again, this data can change or swiftly change the directions and initiatives of the company. And if you do that, um, yun nga, magiging malaki yung magiging damage nito in terms of the financial resources of the competitors or even your current company. Okay, so actually there's what do you call this? There's a agreement that usually requires to be signed by the DA. May tinatawag kami DA clause. Itong DA clause na to, if you sign this, it protects the company to file cases against you if they prove na you have or you shared data of your company to other companies. Kaya it's very important that you don't breach those kind of contract. Okay? Then number four, no, for the ethical consideration. Actually, with the DA, ito mabigat sa puso ko to because as a DA, um, we automate reports, we automate, kasi usually, baka mapapasin nyo, for example, sa sales, may mga tao sa sales, minsan ang trabaho lang nila mag-copy paste, di ba, mag, ano ba, mag-pivot, tapos kukunin lang nila yung total sales, tapos yun yung i-report nila sa boss. There's a lot of people na ganun yung task nila. That's reality, no? For example, if you go in a government, ang trabaho lang nila, um, no, yun yung tawag ito, i-type yung nasa records nila. No? Usually yung, for example, logbook ng mga security guards, no? Ipa-type lang nila yung records nila, so on and so forth. If DA, no, if the data analyst can offer alternatives, automation, such as yung katulad ng sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, yung attendance monitoring, no? If I offer that to the company and monitor all the attendance we have, marami yung mawawala ng trabaho. And sometimes, for me, it's unethical, but at the same time, you need to suggest to the upper management na even mawawala yung mga ganong tasks, you can still put them in a more logical task. Such as, for example, instead of doing this report, instead of copy pasting, mag-marketing kayo or maybe like you find more clients so that our company can get more sales, di ba? So for me, those are ethical ways to suggest to the company so that this job displacement can be lessened. Especially right now, marami na tayong AI, marami na tayong machine learning tools that limits or displace jobs here in the Philippines, or even not only in the Philippines, even across the world. Okay, so basically that's all. No, that summarizes the data analytics experience tools that I have. That if in case you guys really want to learn being a data analyst, um, I'll be sharing a link later, that you can use, to practice and learn tools that will help you to become a data analyst. So that's all. Thank you so much to the organizing committee.
Ayan. Thank you so much po, Engineer Chowa.
Thank you, Ma'am Caroline.
Yes. So, uy. Ayan, napaka-engaging ng ating mga participants. Thank you so much po for that informative and insightful presentation. We can now open the floor for questions. Participants, you may type your question in the chat box kung naiya po kayo, or you can use the raise hand feature if you would like to speak. So we encourage everyone to participate. This is our chance to clarify and even deepen your understanding about the topic that has been discussed to us. So the floor is open po.
Wala ata gusto magtanong, ma'am.
Wala
Feeling ko
yatang
nasa
gusto.
feeling ko nasa Zootopia ako, kasi puro
Oo
puro
nga po,
animals yun.
kanina napagayan na ako.
Parang feeling ko Zootopia 'to, ano. But yeah, they're really cute actually.
Actually, napagayan na rin ako kanina.
Mm,
Iniisip ko,
yeah,
saan ba yun? Saan ba makukuha yung mga avatar na to?
yeah. Pero it's nice because they're very techy, actually it's good thing din sometimes yung privacy nila, kasi minsan yung background kung ano lang nakikita mo. So
Yes
medyo okay na
po.
rin yung ganyan.
Yes po. Yes,
Ayan.
so anyone, baka naman merong gusto magtanong dyan kahit isa. O kaya naman magtawag tayo.
Yeah,
Parang classroom lang.
yeah. Or maybe I have a question, Ma'am
Ayan,
Caroline, no?
hindi kayo
Anyone
nagtanong. Yung
anyone of
ano,
you here, can you type in chat box, who among you here, I'm interested lang kung sino yung gusto dito maging data analyst. Kasi bihira yung naririnig ko dito na nagpo-pursue ng computer engineering because they want to become a data analyst or into that industry. And anyone na interested? Kasi I guess majority of the computer engineering focuses on the web development,
Hello,
web
hello, hello,
development.
hello. Hello, 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 hello.
ayun, may nag-hello na.
One,
Mukhang meron ng,
player one. Magnitude 69. 69 Siwa 969 Balangkayan.
iba po yata.
Player one, ang maso. Unay na, plane na.
Mukhang coordinates ata yung sinasabi ni sir.
Oo nga, iba po yung kanyang ano. Mukhang
Ma'am
iba pa
Caroline,
ang
si
engagement.
Doc Lek yata may question.
Doc Lek?
Ang ating board director.
Ayun, si Doc Lek po. Doc
Hello,
Lek,
Doc Lek.
yung may, ayan.
Hello, good evening po, Doc. Question ko lang po, with regarding with the pagkalat po o yung pagkauso ng paggamit ng AI, how would data analytics affects the use of AI po? Kasi yung prompting din po, pwede na naman natin gamitin ng AI sa data analytics. Ganyan din po sa inap na pinakita nyo po kanina. How would you think will affect data analysts dahil po sa dependence ng mga lalo na po ng estudyante sa use po ng artificial intelligence?
Okay, yeah, actually that's really good questions, no. I have two things, no, to say about that, no. One, actually here in the Philippines, I can personally say na hindi naman tayo ganun pa ka data oriented. Why? Because there's a lot of company here in the Philippines still follows the traditional way, like rule of thumb or maybe manual monitoring, no. Unlike to other countries na talagang I guess in Saudi Arabia everything is automated, 'di ba? In Qatar everything is automated. Even banking kiosk na lang. Dito may mga banking pa tayo na traditional, 'di ba? So doon even food, anything, grocery, automated, no? Very few companies lang nakita ko dito, like for example Uniqlo, no? I figure out na they offer this self checkout na automation. And here in the Philippines, no, having that said, no, na hindi pa tayo ganun ka 100% automated, data analysts are still in demand because we need that data analyst to transition to that automation. No? Because of course, from traditional to the mix of the traditional and automation, fully automated using AI, and then AI. Actually, threat talaga yung AI in data analyst because you can easily prompt, no, direct. Actually, in Microsoft Pilot, may tinatawag tayong Microsoft Pilot in Power BI, wherein if you just feed all the data, it can create dashboard for you. However, one thing, yung second thing na point ko, sir, is even even we have prompts, even we have AI, it is still important for a person to use the right prompt. Kasi sometimes even yung prompt, may maling isang word ka lang dyan. For example, from is to R, di ba? You're just looking for one answer, but since you put an R, so it gives you multiple answers. So minsan ganon, di ba? And you still need a human thinking to, have a logical answer based on the questions of your stakeholders. And that's where um, human intervention as a data analyst is still important. Pero for me, as a data analyst, even nga hindi ako, even to my students, I always tell to them, I'm not I'm not I'm not prohibiting them, to use AI as long as they read it, no. If for example hindi ka magaling sa grammar, read it. Use AI for you to improve your your papers, but read it, no. Kasi yung process na yon, you're trying to read it paulit-ulit. Sometimes the learning that you need, to have a proper grammar, proper understanding of the terminologies or technical nung ginagawa mo, nade-develop pa rin naman, no. The sad part lang diyan is kung talagang gagawa ka lang tapos lahat everything AI without understanding it, doon magkakaroon ng problema. And if you suggest, or I mean for example, if you recommend to the management, yung decision na yon might cost big financial resources to the company or reputation maybe on the other aspect. So I guess that's my insight to or answer to the question, Ma'am Caroline.
Ayun, thank you so much for that. Yes, medyo helpful talaga, no? Actually, engineer, we have 4 questions here. Ayan na. So sabi niya, first question, how do you decide that you wanted to be a data analyst, Engineer Choa?
Actually, I started as a data analyst unexpected because I'm just randomly applying for a job before. I started as a project engineer, by the way. I worked with a foundation, with a bank foundation here in the Philippines. Kaya nakapag-travel na rin ako in majority of the provinces here in the Philippines and got a chance to work with different stakeholders, no. But I just realized na being a data analyst gives also a benefit. For example, my work right now is a work from home setup. Hindi po lahat ng trabaho ay work from home. And data analyst is one of the job or the role that offers that kind of setup. That's why I said yes of taking this kind of role. So isa yan sa mga perks of being a data analyst. Kaya I chose this career. Yep. So that's all my Caroline.
Ayun. So, dami na pala ni Sir experience outside. Then meron pa po tayong question dito. What personal projects can you recommend po related to data analyst?
Oh, I have 2. Lagi ko to binibida, no, if I have, it's part of actually of my portfolio. One is, ito nga, gaya sa sabi ko sa inyo, for example lang, DTR, daily time records of our people, for example, mga security guards, di ba? So majority of that yung parang body clock ba yung tawag doon, yung parang ini-insert mo pa, no? So yun kasi is prone sa error. Alam naman ninyo, di ba, minsan mali yung in, mali yung out. And remember, accumulation of those errors can cause a severe financial damage to the company. So what I did, I automated it, no, using yung ginawa ko kanina. So they need to take photo using their mobile phone in the right location using the lat long. And boom, no, it helps us to see people who, having a good attendance and remove those people na hindi talaga performing in terms of the attendance, no. And also it helps us actually hindi yung ako sorry, i-share ko na dito. Kung ako masusunod in the government, no, magkaroon ng KPI tapos monitor mo lahat ng performance. Kapag hindi maayos yung performance, tanggalin sa trabaho. Why? Because we are all paying them, right? So kung tayo sa kumpanya natin meron tayong performance evaluation, they should have also a performance evaluation. If they commit this is their KPI to create 10 roads na maayos. Tapos maraming nag-report, 'di ba? Yung for example sa Naga, I guess sa Naga right now, meron silang parang online platform na magre-report sila kapag pundido yung ilaw, kapag pangit yung daan, and so on. If you have that records, ewan ko lang kung hindi mag-ayos yung mga district engineers natin, 'di ba? Na ayusin yung mga roads natin. Because again, we are data-driven. If you don't perform well, we remove you. And that's how important. And that's one of the project I did now that helps the organization. And hopefully, you guys, especially to the students, once you enter this organization, especially in the government, no, be a data-oriented person. Yun lang po, Ma'am Caroline. And dumami na yung question tuloy. Okay.
Yes, thank you po. So dumadami na yung question, sir. How
Okay lang po.
does
Good
the
evening.
data science
Good evening, engineer. Can I quick question
Yes po.
if it's
Yes
okay?
po. Sure
Yes
po.
po.
My pleasure.
Currently, working on project ako. Kaya lang ang client namin is ang warehouse using SAP. Then our company using Oracle.
Okay po.
Mostly nagkakaroon ng problem sa every quarter inventory.
Mhm.
Palaging may reconciliation, hindi nagtutugma ang data. Anong pinakamagandang advice or magandang gawin to?
Okay. Well, I'll be honest now, I'm not familiar with Oracle, but the way I understand the problem in terms of the reconciliation is you need first to understand saan yung root cause ng mismatch. That's the first thing that analysts do, no, finding where's the root cause of this mismatch. No? It's either in the tool that you're using, maybe the Oracle, or maybe when it comes, minsan kasi meron din yung physical problem, like for example, in the internet, minsan yung latency, minsan hindi naman bumabato real time, tapos when you compare it, no, magkaiba yung time coverage ng comparison mo. There's some cases like that, or there's some instances naman na, for example, since still may manual intervention, for example, if you do records, for example, barcoding, no, yan yung way mo to insert the data, then if it throws to the system, hindi siya real-time bumabato. So minsan may mga ganong discrepancy that you need to check kung saan talaga yung naging root cause nung reconciliation na gano'n. Personal experience ko when it comes to that, no, when it comes to the payroll, no, we have records of their attendance, no, their payouts. So what we did, we adjust it, no, just to be sure. For example, if today is December 6, we're recording that. We're not recording real time or actually even previous day. So we're recording past 4 days, past 5 days, just to be sure. Once yung data nag-saturate na talaga dun sa system at wala na masyadong changes. Usually yun yung method namin. But again, I guess it depends doon sa the particulars na in-offer ng system na ginagamit niyo. And opportunity, sir, again, hindi ako familiar kay Oracle. Yep.
Okay, thank you. I think kasi usually before quarterly inventory, data is ano ba tawag dito? Kinukuha na siya 5 days. Para
After 5 days, sir.
magkaroon lang Mm-mm.
Mhm.
Para magkaroon lang ng pero thank you sa inputs, and sa tingin ko may problem talaga sa ginagamit na Depende kasi usually kasi ang gamit ng kabila item codes, sa kabila naman is product materials. So baka daw.
Kailangan, sir, yes, kailangan talaga. Or minsan kasi ako, usually yun na po yung naging rason ko kung bakit ako nag-move from Looker Studio to Power BI because of the incremental refresh. Pag sabi yung incremental refresh, you're just updating the recent and it stopped you changing the historical. Kasi for some reason, syempre sa operations natin, minsan talaga may mga changes silang ginagawa na hindi natin alam. And if they change that historical data, minsan doon nagkakaroon ng mga changes na
Saka
hindi
yung
mo alam kung saan nanggaling.
Saka may manual pa rin talaga eh. Since Oracle and SAP naglalaro palagi Excel migration, doon ang comparison. Yung
May
wala
Excel
kasi
pa rin.
talaga siya.
Yun
Wala
nga,
kasi
sir.
siya talagang integration eh. So most probably kasama sa post. Thank you for all the info and data.
Try nyo, sir, explore yung kung meron kayong mga data visualization, Power BI, isa yun sa mga tool or Tableau. May direct kasi yun sa mga, I guess Oracle, parang may nakita ako na Oracle din. I'm not sure lang pero you can explore that, sir. Para hindi na nagkakaroon ng manual intervention.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you po.
Yan, thank you po. Here's another question for you, sir. So how does data science analytics team collaborate with other departments like production, engineering, and marketing?
Okay, so with my team, what I do, I assign a specific person to a specific department. Why? Kasi, well, as a lead, I need to know everything. But for specific data analysts, they need to be familiar with the specific profile of the what do you call this, of the department. Kasi iba-iba yun nga, iba-iba yung profile ng department. For example, if you're into sales, o yung tinatawag kong commercial, facing customers, usually ang profile lang, sales, revenue, marketing, number of clicks in the advertisement. Then if you face the operation, iba naman, cost-related, utilization, efficiency, and so on and so forth. So, you need to assign a specific person to be familiar with that kasi, di ba, it's hard for someone to master everything. So mas maganda if you have targeted mastership sa isang bagay so that when they, do insights, very specific, no, yung pag-handle nila. Yep. So that's all, man.
Yes, from Pampanga State U, the question is, what makes a data project successful from your perspective?
Well, if you hit the KPI, I guess I'm always very particular with KPI. When you say KPI, for example, if you agree before the start of the project that you need to hit 85% of successful delivery. No? So when you do it in the project, you measure it by numbers. Kailangan nung na-implement mo yung project na yon from 65%, naging 85% na siya. So using data analytics, it helps you measure how it progress, no? At makikita mo din, for example, in day-to-day level, ba, biglang bumaba. Hahanapin mo ano nangyari sa araw na yon. May nag-absent ba? Nagkaroon ba ng internet issue and so on and so forth. So, mas na-itemize mo. Unlike kasi yung after a week, tapos magtatanong ka, ano nangyari sa'yo? Parang consultation. Siyempre, kanya-kanya kwento yan. And parang chismis lang yan. Kwento ng isa, iba sa kwento ng iba. So, it should be data-driven. I help you, Ma'am Caroline, for that time,
Yes.
for our time. So, I'll be
Sige po.
reading the question. So, the next question is, what advice can you give to those who want to start career as a data analyst? For me, perseverance, maybe, or maybe you really need to know your purpose. Kasi hindi naman talaga lahat ay, alam mo yon, when you know the personality, may ibang tao, marketing person, because very bribant sila, very makwento sila. So kung gano'n talaga yung personality mo, explore the right path for you. Diba? Kung sa tingin mo, ikaw medyo introvert, tapos nagawa kang data, yung party ka, yung perfectionist ka, yun yung mga perfect sa data analyst kasi syempre you need data cleanliness, kailangan may accuracy in terms of the data decisions. Kasi again, why I'm saying this, kapag yung suggestion mo o yung recommendation mo sa management to remove 30% of trucks. So syempre yung trucks na yon equivalent to tao. Hindi po ganun kadali mag-recommend as a data analyst because you remove jobs. No? For example, ako nagre-release ako ng incentives before. May nagme-message pa sa akin, sir, panggatas na lang ng anak ko. But since you're handling those information, you're handling those performance review, di ba? You need to your decision making and leave to the management kung gusto. So again, it depends on your personality. Start to this career, later on, I'll be chatting in the chat box yung mga parang ano dito, mga bootcamp or mga online site na you can start to, browse and search. Especially ngayon, 2 araw ng pasok. So, you can start watching those videos. No? What advice can you give to those who, okay na yan? Advice, how does your day at work usually flow? Actually, every day, actually, pinaka-busy ko Monday and Friday. Monday, because I need to refresh all the reports. No, I need to check if everything is well. Tuesday to Thursday ko, usually, yun yung project initiative day ko. I review all the performances, no? I give, for example, yung for example, every Tuesday, laging mababa yung sale. And nakakausap ko si marketing to have a Tuesday promo. Di ba yung nakikita ninyo sa Zeus? Di ba meron tawag na Zeus Day. sale. So we need to promote this. Why? Because kapag hindi ka pag underproductive, ibig sabihin lugi ka. Cash flow, no, kung bakit nagkakaroon ng mga ganung promo, no, every week. Experience nyo po, ano po talaga ang main skills na dapat i-focus? Unang pag-aralan pag nagbabalak ng mag-data analyst. Well, start with SQL, no? SQL, kaya-kaya, madali-madali lang yan. Dapat syempre familiar kayo sa G Suite, di ba? Alam niyo mag-pivot, yung mga gano'n, di ba? May yung mga simple form. Actually, even like for example, yung mga XLOOKUP, yun medyo madali pa yan, no? Pero yung mga if, yung mga nested formulas, kailangan familiar kayo with that because in company, hindi yan yung parang straightforward lang na isa-sum divide mo lang, di ba? There's a lot of conditions that you need to add, with your reports, okay? Just to solicit your expert opinion, are data scientists not threatened by the emergence of the agentic? We are, but at the end of the day, if in case naman na-automate na yung trabaho mo, mababawasan maybe yung analyst, but at the end of the day, there's still a human intervention. Why? Kasi kahit sabi mong accurate na yung pangalan nito, yung feedback or yung recommendation ng AI, still kailangan na human intervention because at the end of the day, kapag sobrang AI-oriented lang yung sagot mo, again, may human emotions pa rin tayo. So you need to contribute din, especially in the marketing side, in the sales, di ba? You need to contribute din because sometimes AI are straightforward in terms of their recommendation. No? But again, in the Philippines, I don't see it na masyado pa tayong threatened because we're still transitioning. For me, we're still transitioning from traditional to automations, no, or into data analytics. What technical skills should we master first as aspiring data analyst? I guess I already answered this, no? SQL and Excel. Okay, then last question is what essential competencies and preparatory steps must we consider before becoming an effective data analyst? I suggest you guys go with bootcamp. Or kung ayaw nyo na bootcamp, kasi yung bootcamp, it requires a commitment. Syempre may classes yan, may learning session. You can just go with YouTube and just search how to become a data analyst. So, and there's a lot of guide instructions there that will help you. Pero just focus on G-Sheet, Excel, G-Sheet, sorry, that's the same, spreadsheet, SQL, and data visualization. And ang for me, pinaka-perfect or pinaka-main thing that we need to do is have good relationship with people. Kasi as a data analyst, parang nagbabasa sa libro, tapos ikukwento, para kasi Lola Basyang, di ba? You read data from books, you process it, internalize mo siya, and then you will tell to people the story, the right story, for them to appreciate the importance of the things that you're trying to say. Diba? Kailangan natin magbawas ng tao, kailangan natin magdagdag, we need to do this promotion and whatsoever. Kasi kapag hindi mo na parating yun na maayos, nonsense in data. No? And again, the reason why I'm saying data analysis is critical because we can manipulate, we can change. Diba? Kung halimbawa ako nagre-release ako ng incentive, paborito ko si Ma'am Caroline. Siya ang bibigyan ko ng lagi may 13-month bonus, diba? Yung iba wala. And sometimes bosses don't check it. But lalo na sa mga yung mga, kasi may mga CEO minsan, may mga tamad na approve lang ng approve, diba? So, kung ganun yung behavior mo, you're delikado yun, no, when it comes to the organization. That's why, again, integrity is very important as an analyst. Okay? What is the most common mistake data analysts makes when interpreting data? Data cleanliness. No? Remember, in our statistics, may tinatawag tayo outliers, di ba? So you need to data clean. Kaya nga tayo nag-statistics. I guess ang computer engineers may statistics yan, di ba? Advanced statistics. So kailangan natin i-apply yun for us to have an accurate and less error. Kaya may tayo usually 0.05% error, di ba? We have a lesser error or lower standard deviations in terms of our data. No? To have again, what we do is not 100% perfect, but we're guiding our organization to become data oriented for at least to have a near 100% truth recommendations or initiatives. Sir, on the DB, are you also using dumping data to prepare SQL? Actually, for me, it really depends kung ano yung visualization na ginagamit ninyo. Depende rin kung ano yung resources na meron yung organization ninyo. Kasi sometimes may mga platforms tayo na may premium na kailangan. So, if that's an open source, most likely, how should I say this? Pag source kasi minsan prone sa mga data privacy or data breach. Kaya I suggest talaga, ako I-recommend talaga S3, no? Kung may budget. Pero kung for the student just to practice, may SQL, Oracle, okay yan. I use DocDB, I use dbeaver. Ayan yung mga platforms na ginagamit ko to SQL. Plus, paano mo malaman if yung isang company ay kailangan ng data warehouse instead of normal? Pag marami lang nawawala. Yan. Pag marami lang nawawala, nagugulat ka na lang, ang inventory mo 10, bigla na lang yung 5, di ba? So, yan yung mga main reasons kung bakit kailangan mo ng warehouse monitoring, no, ng data, warehouse or SAP, your ERP, no, so that it helps you to navigate or monitor your data. Address, no, yung may tinatawag na tayong EOQ o the order point, di ba? So sa monitoring, it also helps the warehouse, no, to know kung kailan ka o-order, ano yung product na kailangan mo orderin, gaano karami yung product mong kailangan orderin. Especially in logistic and supply chain management, mahirap yan. No, hindi po lahat galing Pilipinas, yung iba galing ibang bansa, and you need to wait, no, time, no, before you get those products. And backflow, kailangan mo ano yun, i-pass yun, no? So you can get the product on time based on your requirement. Okay, so I guess I answered all the questions. Ayan, so Ma'am Caroline, I'll give it back to you the floor.
Thank you so much. Ay, naririnig ba ako? Ayun. Thank you so much po, Engineer Choa, for that insightful and inspiring presentation. Also, thank you so much for those who have asked their questions, for your engagement. We truly appreciate your time, expertise, and experience as well, and especially to Engineer Choa for his expertise. Your talk has given us valuable knowledge that we can bring into academic or in the professional journey of our participants. So at this point, we would like to present our certificate of appreciation to our distinguished speaker. So allow me to read the content. The certificate of appreciation is awarded to Engineer Scott James Choa in grateful recognition of his valuable contribution as resource speaker for today with the topic How Data Analytics Power Strategic Decision Making. So your dedication, expertise, and commitment to knowledge sharing has significantly enriched this global event, given the 6th day of this December 2025. So can we give a virtual applause to Engineer Choa?
Thank you so much, Scott.
Then for
Everyone.
other fellow professionals. Quick word
So-
lang po, no? Doon sa mga students and fellow professional, if you want to ask more, no, you can just connect with me in LinkedIn or even in Facebook. Just type my name. So, no, it will appear on your UI. No? Ask questions. No? I'm happy to share my knowledge in data analytics. Yun lang.
Once again, thank you, Engineer Choa, for being with us and for making this webinar a meaningful and successful learning experience. So at this point po, I would like to ask everyone to take a few moments po to evaluate our seminar, and also this will be our attendance for today. Let me share where is it? Ayan. So you will see, okay, sana ba yan? So you may scan the QR po, and I will also provide link in the chat. So please take your time po to answer. Ayan. So again, thank you so much po for making this first international webinar a success. So to help us improve our future events, please have time to accomplish the evaluation form. So the link is now posted in the chat box and even the QR. So your feedback is very valuable to us. Kindly take a moment to fill out before leaving the session. So for our closing remarks, siguro nagugutom na rin po ang lahat. Tama po ba? Okay pa po ba tayo lahat? Kamusta po kayo? Ayan, okay pa. Yan. So as we near the end of our online seminar, let us listen to the closing message from the President of ICPEP KSA, Kingdom of Arabia. Please welcome Engineer Hazel Lampitok. Engineer Hazel.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for our resource speaker, and thank you for our moderator, Ma'am Carol, and for our closing remarks. And ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the conclusion of today's webinar, how data analytics power strategic decision, making leveraging Power BI, SQL, data warehousing, and Python, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you, your active participation and engagement. First and foremost, we sincerely thank to our distinguished resource speaker, Engineer Scott James Chua, for sharing his expertise and valuable insight. His discussions illuminate our modern tool as a Power BI, SQL data, warehousing, and Python can transform raw data into actionable intelligence, enabling organizations to smarter, evidence-based decisions. And the clarity and the depth of his presentation have truly inspired us to embrace data-driven strategies in our respective fields. To all participants, your presence and enthusiasm made decisions meaningful. The questions, the reflections, and the shared experiences enriched the dialogue and demonstrated the collective commitment to advancing knowledge in the data analytics. This collaboration reflects the spirit of continuous learning and innovation that drives our profession forward rather. As we move ahead, let us carry the lessons from today's sessions into our workplaces and communities. By harnessing the power of analytics, we can shape strategies that are not only efficient but also visionary, paving the way for sustainable growth and success. On behalf of the organizing committee, thank you once again to Engineer Scott, James Chua, and to all the attendees. We look forward to see you all in the future program as we continue to explore the limitless possibilities of technology and analytics. And also, I would like to acknowledge the officers of the our region 3, the President Doc Mamilari, and the President of Qatar, and the rest of the representative and the officers of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much, and good night, everyone.
Ayun, thank you so
Milani
much.
and Cory. Yes.
Thank you so much po.
Thank
Bago po tayo magsialis, kung okay lang po, mag-photo op po muna tayo, kahit virtual lang. So, I would like to ask everyone to turn on po yung camera nyo if possible. And then, please bear with me kasi medyo marami po ata tayo. So, mga ilang, Ayan. Sana po tayo lahat.